It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The Moose.
You might not be an A, but you are a B plus.
Check it out!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Mr Myster1ous, and we are here for the Impact Zone, the last stop before Rebellion, and of course, the big Rebellion pay-per-view. It's just happened. Joining me for this stream, GregUnchained.
It's not a stream, buddy. It's a podcast. What do you? If you're gonna take control of the show, I expect you to do it correctly and with finesse.
Well, I've had to act on the fly in your absence, sir. So everything's kind of been up in the air.
I do appreciate it when people step up when life gets in the way, as it does. And I'm still I'm not entirely convinced that you aren't actually an army of clones.
Roger.
Because you have the work ethic of a John Cena. I don't know how you do what you do. I feel like I have a really strong work ethic as well, and sometimes Mr Myster1ous here puts me to shame. So
flattery get you everywhere, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, Impact this week, man. How about it? Impact was Impact.
Impact was Impact, and Rebellion definitely a step up from United We Stand. I can say that much.
Yeah. Look, I enjoyed Rebellion a lot. To be honest with you, a few little minor notes, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the last stop before Rebellion first, I guess. Impact Wrestling. So Eli Drake starts off the show saying that Eddie Edwards was the weak link. The old Eddie's dead. Eli owns Kenny now, apparently.
Of course.
And then Eddie Edwards just attacks him and takes Kenny back because Eli's going away. So we don't get a blow-off match or anything.
And I was half thinking, I don't think it's a spoiler now, but Eli Drake, we thought that he might be appearing for Rebellion just to one last kind of send-off, but no.
He teased it because he posted about his passport or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He was traveling
to the same area they're going to have Rebellion, but no, apparently not. Why do you do this to us, Eli?
It's the big old ring tease.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that's the end of the Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards story. Is Eddie took Kenny back and beat him backstage, just chased him backstage, and Eli Drake ran and took his ball and went home.
Kicked him to the curb. Took away Mike. He had Mikey, the little selfie stick, and just
Yeah, that's weird. Then we get Ace Austin versus Aiden Prince. Nice basic enhancement match. Ace Austin wins with the fold. Still don't like it.
Well, leading up to it, I feel definitely showing he's just very innovative, and yeah, they've got a real hot talent with him.
No, it's a weak finish. You're only as good as your last move, and if your last move is the fold, I'm all out.
Well, maybe not so much his last move, because afterwards he had a little bit of a tantrum, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, he did a post-match beatdown, and then Petey Williams came out for the save, and I was like, this makes zero sense.
No.
Canada.
Yeah, beating up one Canada boy and the other one comes to the rescue. We're still in Wisconsin, Toronto. This is the last taping before Rebellion, so...
Wisconsin? Wisconsin's not in Toronto.
Wisconsin, Ontario, I think they're saying it. My geography is off, guys. I do apologize.
Was it Wisconsin or was it something else with it? Oh, man, are there more than one Wisconsins?
It might be. We're Australian, guys, if you're listening overseas. So
yeah, this has just blown my mind. All right, so Wisconsin, Ontario. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah,
sure. Why not? They're in Canada.
Yes.
They're the Great White North. The winter is here. The Night King cometh. The North remembers.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get to them. They're further on down the show in another angle that doesn't make any sense. So let's stick with this angle that doesn't make any sense. All about the North. Petey Williams, he comes out and saves Aiden Prince because reasons. Then we get Jordan Grace being attacked by Taya while working out, and she hits a DDT on the freaking weight plate. That was brutal.
That was a really good spot and in a really weird angle, but I enjoyed that last bit.
Yeah, some of the beatdown in the gym looked a little weak. I don't know. There's something about when you're in a wrestling ring. I feel the same way with like LAX and Lucha Brothers and their backstage brawls.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you're in a wrestling ring, you sort of take your time. You're playing to the cheap seats. You wind up, you throw the punch. They sell the punch and they flick their hair. And it's this whole big theatrical thing. And it looks like it has some impact behind it. It looks like it hurts. But then you do it with just a camera and you're in a gym and you're not as big when you're performing for the camera, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't look like it has as much impact behind it, and a lot of the attacks looked really soft.
Maybe if there was some people in the gym kind of freaking out as well, maybe that might have helped. But
yeah, I don't know. It just felt soft, and I feel the same way. When, like I said, LAX and Lucha Brothers, their backstage brawls have felt the same. It's like they push each other into the wall, and it's like, oh, that's cute. Like it didn't look like it had any impact.
Just like Impact Wrestling, little impact. I don't know.
I know I'm gonna have to go back and watch like Raven versus Kane versus Big Show at WrestleMania 17 when they brawl backstage, because I feel like when they do it, it looks like there's impact. Like they're throwing each other through walls and shit. You know,
just like outside of the ring, there's just a lot more thought put into it that maybe kind of overthink things, but really the message went across nevertheless, saying that like Taya's got Jordan's number for a little bit.
Yeah, well, the DDT on the weight plate was brutal. I liked that part. That was good. More of that stuff and less of, oh, you're choking me on a weight machine even though my feet are clearly still on the ground. Like, just less of that, more of the weight plate stuff. That was good. Then we get the North angle that I was talking about. You want to run through this one so I can just sit here and scratch my goddamn head?
Sure. So Moose has had this series of matches with the Rascals.
Which we've been a fan of. We've liked this story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And last week, he faced off against Wentz and got the upset after the Rascals. They kind of teamed up behind the referee's back, and huge upset. Moose was really pissed off, saying like, I'm going to need some friends to help like make things even, just to get my win back. And just out of the blue, he invites the Rascals to this random part of the Impact building, saying, oh, this is going to be your new clubhouse, because the other one was a bit smoky. Then they're all been invited here by Moose, and they think like, oh, he's going to bring some friends, going to bring some girls and stuff, and then out comes the North.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they don't, if Petey Williams brought out the North, I'd be like, okay, cool, that makes sense. Moose has been beating the Rascals on his own.
Yeah.
He doesn't need any help. No. He's winning every time. If he'd lost,
I thought he was being like metaphorical when he was kind of freaking out last week, saying like, oh, I don't care if it's like 2-on-3, 3-on-3, like I'm going to, beat you guys up. Like, because like he's been facing these guys off one by one. He doesn't need the North, but they're there.
It makes zero sense. And why the North, too? Like, Moose seems to be this guy that they have no idea what to do with. So they're just like, let's put him with Killer Cross and Austin Aries. Let's put him with the North. They just put him with anyone. They don't give a shit. They're just like, Moose can be the third man in any... It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it.
No, I will say, like, the Rascals, their kind of comedy beforehand, like, just saying, like, oh, wait, who invited us here? And just one of them going through his pockets for, like, a good minute trying to find the notes.
Trying to find the note.
Still can't find it after a minute.
Yeah, he found a whole bunch of other things.
Uh-huh.
Man, I can't even remember. I should have written down some of the stuff that he found in his pockets, but it was a very random collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Okay. Impact was Impact. Then we get the GWN flashback to RVD versus AJ Styles, because of course RVD is returning at the next tapings. So that's a thing that's happening.
Yep.
Scarlett Bordeaux announces a live smoke show at Rebellion, which, spoiler alert, doesn't happen.
No.
And then we get another match, Undead Maid of Honor, accompanied by Su Yung, taking on Rosemary. Gee, I wonder who's going to win this one.
Yeah, this one kind of out of the blue. Like, I wasn't sure if this would kind of, like, Kiera Hogan might have come out just to add a little bit more storyline there, but no, she was out of the equation after being, like, choked out for a little bit last week.
Yeah. And I mean, look, the Maid of Honor doesn't have a name.
No.
if you want us to believe someone is going to win a match, at least give them a name. I don't know. It's weird to me.
It might have like just undead enhancement talent. It's just doesn't have a nice ring to it.
Yeah. And then we get Rich Swann at the OVE compound, which they teased us earlier. They were like, Rich Swann just arrived at the OVE compound. And then we didn't actually get the segment for like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But Rich Swann's at the OVE compound, and OVE, like the Chris brothers, that is. I can't say OVE anymore when I'm talking about the Chris brothers because there's also Madman Fulton, right? So, yeah, the Chris brothers welcome him home. But he's looking for Sammy, and they're like, Sammy's not here.
He's not here.
And,
he's not here.
Yeah, not here. And so he goes and he's like knocking on the door, being like, Sammy, let me in or whatever. And no one answers. And he just sort of sits there and cuts a promo. Then he like gets up and he knocks on the door and stuff. And he's talking about like when Sammy Callahan's mum died and how Rich was there for him and all this sort of stuff. It was a pretty good segment. Pretty good segment.
It's pretty strong, like bringing it all back. Like we kind of, we'd heard Sammy say the same stuff over and over again, but we've had a break from that now, and the fact that Rich is actually kind of saying the same things, like it does bring it home leading up to their match.
Yeah, I would have liked to see a Sammy Callahan promo here on this episode of Impact. The one that they aired at Rebellion would have worked really well as a go-home promo. So I don't know why they didn't do that, but, you know.
He was having problems online. He was threatening to spoil Avengers Endgame for people. He was being a nuisance.
What was that about? He had demands for Impact management. What were his demands?
So he wanted his match at Rebellion for the X Division title to be made a no DQ match.
Right. He wanted OVE rules, and he got it.
Yep.
Because he threatened to spoil Avengers. Amazing. Amazing. The things that'll work in 2019. Then we get Lucha Brothers backstage talking, and Johnny Impact comes up and he's like, oh, you guys are really lucky. You get to follow me out there. And they're like, we don't follow anyone because we are the best tag team in the world.
But they're saying it all in Spanish, and Johnny has no idea what they're saying.
Yeah. That was my Nacho Libre impression, which is highly racist.
Yeah.
Because Nacho Libre is a white guy pretending to be Mexican as well. Just a chubby white guy. Just, problematic. I love that movie, though.
Yeah.
Get that corn out of my face. Can we do it next week instead of watching Impact? Can we just watch Nacho Libre?
We can do a movie review. Why not?
Let's start doing wrestling movie reviews. What's your favorite wrestling movie of all time?
Oh, I can't go past The Wrestler, man, but that's like completely different tone to the other ones.
Right. Because I think it might be Nacho Libre, to be honest with you. I think for me, like, I love Ready to Rumble. I love Nacho Libre. I like things. I like different things to most people. I love The Wrestler, but Ready to Rumble? I mean, come on. Say I'm your bitch and you're my daddy.
We can probably start that up, like, going forward. We'll, like, have a series of things. Maybe lead up to maybe Fighting With My Family. Who knows? Be a nice little thing to work on, but...
Yeah, we'll get to that. But let's go back to Impact. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I've just... Yeah, can you tell I'm falling out of love with Impact again?
Yeah, but I will say, though, last week, like, the Impact Wrestling episode, so we compared it last time you were on to, like, the check engine light being on. I say it might be flickering, but at the moment it's off. Like, for the time being, I
don't know. Anyway, so Johnny Impact comes out and he's oh wait, no, we still had. Wait, hang on a second.
So we had the promo, and the Lucha Brothers are calling him an arsehole and everything else in Spanish, and then they're like, English, do you understand? No, but I love the intensity. I just love that delivery.
I love the intensity. Bring that to the ring with you, yeah. But then we didn't get his in-ring promo till later. So then we got Killer Kross and Willie Mack. When Willie Mack was hitting his comeback, Josh Matthews said, "It's the return of the Mac," and I popped for that. I don't know why.
No, I honestly, that song comes in my head all the time when I see Willie Mack on Impact. Just,
I popped hard for that reference. Josh Matthews references are normally very, very cringy. And maybe this is cringy too, but like I'm a 30-year-old white man. Is in hip-hop. No, so it was, I just love the return of the Mac reference in there when he's doing his comeback. But yeah, Willie ended up passing out in the cross jacket choke. I feel like this is good use of Willie Mack.
Good.
They've made him look good for a couple weeks, and then he puts over the star.
and it casts a bit of doubt in his mind as well with Killer Cross, like makes him look strong and kind of makes him think, like, just with Rich Swann kind of teetering with Sami Callihan a little bit, just like being more sympathetic, it kind of could lean more favourably to Willie saying, like, hang on, what are you on about? Like, Killer Cross was right.
Yeah, this is true. But this was a good match. This was probably the best match of the show, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which, Willie Mack, Killer Cross, both deserve to be pushed. Like, they deserve to be in high-profile spots.
It was a little bit unfortunate that he wasn't on the card for Rebellion, Killer Cross, but I believe he's in Lucha Libre doing something else. But
yeah, in AAA.
Yeah.
So then we move on and we get the Dinas
Giver
making their debut. Huh?
Giver, like that's their theme song, so there'll be a big like Dinas Giver, whatever the redneck thing is.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's the Dinas taking on Halal Beefcake, which honestly I liked Halal Beefcake more than the Dinas.
Oh, they had their moments, to be fair.
Dinas win with a Dina DT. I think they call it Dina DT. Was that?
Oh, it's basically a double team Nightmare Pendulum that Hammerstone does from MLW. It's just like an extra assist.
Yeah. So it's the Dina DT, I think they called it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's an assisted DDT. And they get the win, which you expect because they've had videos hyping them up for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I would rather Impact have a random tag match on a show like Dinas versus Halal Beefcake and have the Dinas win, and then for 2 weeks run videos and be like, we've signed these guys now because they had an exhibition match and they impressed us. And then you play these hype videos and then have them come in against, the Rascals or someone who's an actual team, as opposed to building them up and then putting them against a team like Halal Beefcake. I'm just going to say that again.
Did you get the bitches?
Halal Beefcake.
And like one point, like one of the Dinas, I can't remember which one, just like get daddy in the ring, and like the commentary is just like, should we be worried for these guys?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that obviously Halal Beefcake had no hope in hell against these people who we've seen videos for the last month. It's just weird.
Yeah,
it's a weird strategy.
It was, like, to be fair, like they did that with the North with their like debut match when they had that big squash match.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, they did it with the freaking... Who was it that came back recently, and now we've forgotten them again?
Now you're testing me. Like, you mean, so Ethan Page and...
The Punk dudes. They were the Punk dudes that came back, and then they lost a couple matches and they went away.
Oh, yeah, to Falabar and KM.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reno Scum.
Yeah, that's right, Reno Scum.
Yeah, no,
they got some videos, then they won some matches, and then they lost to KM and Falabar, who KM, it looks like, has left Impact now as well, by the way.
Like, just no fanfare, no announcement, just he's gone, yeah.
Yeah, so, Impact.
Revolving door of talent.
So we move on, and we get the Johnny promo I talked about where, he's talking about how they're going to have a special guest ref for the match because, Johnny Bravo can't ref anymore because he's, sucking up to Impact or whatever. And so, yeah, they've chosen Lance Storm, and then Johnny's like kind of bragging about the fact that it's Lance Storm because Lance Storm trained him and Lance Storm trained Taya. And, he's a good friend of theirs. And then Lance Storm comes out and he's like, yeah, no, my integrity comes first. Super kick. It was great.
I love how everyone just like, the amount of times he says, can I be serious for a sec? Like, everyone kind of knows. Just
if I could be serious for a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on. I've got it right here. Ready?
If I can be serious for a minute without being...
Yeah.
How good is Lance Storm?
He's
I
awesome.
love Lance Storm. But you want to make your champion look like a punk in 2019? Have Lance Storm super kick him and have him sell it for 3 minutes. Like, seriously, Lance Storm.
Yeah.
Like, Lance Storm is a retired wrestler.
Yes.
He's a legend in the sport, mostly for what he's done as a trainer, in my opinion.
And granted, he did train Johnny. This doesn't really justify the whole thing there.
But he's a retired wrestler. He's got to be, 45, 46 years old, older? 50?
Probably 50s, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a retired wrestler in his 50s, and at his height, at his heyday, he was an upper mid-carder.
Yes.
At best. He never cracked the main event. He's a multi-time champion. The stuff he did in WCW where he was the Canadian champion, the Canadian hardcore champion, and like he rebranded all the titles as Canadian titles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love Lance Storm, and the Impact players are one of the best tag teams in the history of wrestling. Fight me. I love the Impact players. So it's just one of those things though where he was a mid-card guy, upper mid-card at best. An upper mid-card that was WCW 2000, you know?
Yes.
Like it's not like it was hard to be an upper mid-card guy in WCW 2000. Your competition was Sean O'Hare, right? So, and this guy, this retired mid-carder, super kicks your world champion, and he sells for 4 minutes.
Yeah, but they should have.
Way to make like the world champion. That makes everyone on the roster look fucking terrible. Like imagine, like this super kick would have killed Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Like guy would have had to retire, open a school,
yeah,
and then come back in 10 years and kick someone and do the whole thing again.
Just like the clunky build up to the 6-man tag match so that Lucha Brothers could come out, and like I would have bought maybe like if just Teo woke him up just saying like it's okay, just kind of brushed him aside, but yeah, he sold it for that long, and yeah, no, I agree, it wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, I just think that it makes everyone look weak when your world champion is selling for 4 minutes off a super kick from a retired mid-carder. It just like just process that for a second. Scott D'Amore, when you're writing the show, how did that sound like a good idea? I don't know.
But at the very least, it did lead to a really solid last match before Rebellion.
Yeah, 6-man tag, like your standard, this tag team are going to face this tag team, and this singles guy is going to face this singles guy. Let's throw them all together. And they had Johnny Impact and the Lucha Brothers taking on Brian Cage and LAX, which, again, Johnny Impact's a heel and he's teaming with the Lucha Brothers. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
But Lucha Brothers and LAX is like a face versus face thing, so...
Yeah, no, I scratched my head at that last week. I was thinking that I realized it's just because they're both champions, and neither here nor there. But I will say at this one, the past couple of weeks, Impact, the main events have only gone for like 5 minutes, if that. So this one, they actually gave the time to give everyone a chance to prove why they're in their matches going into Rebellion. So at the very least, I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it was a good match. It wasn't the best match on the show because Willie Mack was on the show. So
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, Outbreak Nutrition. Outbreak Nutrition are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at Outbreak Nutrition. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout. That brings us to Rebellion, though.
Yes.
Rebellion, good show overall.
Absolutely
A lot of filler though.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's start with the filler. 6-man scramble. Ace Austin, Petey Williams, Adrian Prince, cousin Jake Dina. What, is that his name? Cousin Jake.
Yep.
Cousin Jake Dina, Jake Christ, and Eddie Edwards.
Yes.
Obviously, Eddie Edwards was supposed to have something with Eli Drake, but Eli Drake left. So we get a 6-man scramble, and he doesn't even win.
No.
Ace Austin gets the win with a roll through pin on Petey Williams. So I feel like Eddie Edwards should have been elsewhere or left off. Just leave him off.
Yeah, I don't know if they just kind of felt bad for him just with the situation and just like, oh, we have this scramble match. Just we need a familiar.
But in that case, give him the win.
Yeah.
Or do one of these weird things that you do where Tommy Dreamer or Raven come out and have an impromptu like have Eddie Edwards come out to cut a promo about the guy who took his ball and went, right?
Yeah.
And then have Raven come out, and it can make zero sense at all. And Raven can be like, I knew someone who took their ball and went home from the mental asylum that we were in together, and he shouldn't have done that. And so I'm here to beat him up. You know, like it doesn't have to make any fucking sense.
No, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
It's
They should have given Eddie time to do a promo, but it just shows they're dedicating a lot of time to Ace Austin, like trying to help further him along more so than the other ones.
But like he's had a major story. He's had a major story for months. And now at your pay-per-view, you throw him in a 6-man scramble and he's the biggest star in the match and doesn't even fucking win? I don't know. It's just one of those things that it baffles me. But that's kind of the worst part of the show. So, you know.
It only went better from there.
Yeah, it did. It definitely went uphill from there. We get the announcement that Impact Plus is coming.
With that Jeff Jarrett lawsuit, they need to change things up.
Yeah, so no longer are they Global Wrestling Network, Global Force, etc. They're going to Impact Plus.
Yes.
But it's probably going to be exactly the same hard-to-use service. I've had so many outages with GW, and it's ridiculous.
Hopefully it's a little bit more user-friendly than the WWE Network, but we'll see how we do.
Well, WWE Network is super user-friendly. You don't like WWE Network? Like their interface?
I feel like it needs a bit of work, to be honest. Like just like searching for content.
It's the best one out there. It's better than GWN. It's better than Honor Club. It's better than any of the pivot shares. 110%. Yeah. WWE Network is the standard bearer for wrestling streaming services.
Okay.
I mean, look, there's ways to go, of course, but you know, it's if you've been on GWN, man, it's dicey.
Bringing up some old memories there. I do apologize.
It's dicey. But anyway, moving on. Sami Callihan cuts that promo that I was talking about. And, I felt like this would have been better on the Go Home Impact. But, yeah, they're talking about not turning your back on family. He's going to break Rich Swann's legs.
Hates him, but loves him.
Yeah, hates him, but loves him. So you got to hurt the ones you love sometimes. And then we get Rohit Raju versus Scarlett Bordeaux because reasons. Like, commentary tried to explain it away. Like, she was supposed to have a smoke show, but Rohit Raju was tweeting at her, so she cancelled it to have this match.
So what exactly, like, because I don't think I've seen a smoke show before. Like, is it just her in the ring, like, doing what exactly?
It's
just Scarlett being Scarlett. Like, I've no idea what
she comes out. She dances a little. She teases that she's going to take her clothes off and gets interrupted by the Desi Hit Squad. That's how the smoke show usually goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they kind of scrapped scrapped the people interrupting and just gone straight to the match.
They got rid of the foreplay and went straight to the penetration.
Okay, and it was not even anything new because she faced off against the Desi Hit Squad with Falabar like just the week before.
Oh, but this was one-on-one. And so I guess Scarlett is kind of their queen of intergender wrestling, which is very interesting because Jordan Grace is on the roster.
Yeah, they're keeping Scarlett away from the women's division right now, and then after she's maybe got more intergender victories to her name, kind of say like, oh, she's a credible threat for the Knockouts title. I don't know how they're going to spin it, but yeah, they're keeping her away.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we move on, and Scarlett wins the match, obviously. And then we get Moose and North versus the Rascals.
Yes.
And Moose and the North win with...
So they do their double team move, and then Moose does the spear, no jackhammer required.
Yeah, they call it. It's literally the commentary said the no jackhammer needed spear.
Yes.
Like that's the name of the move.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I heard it. It's definitely just like Moose is better than Goldberg jab. Yeah.
There's some kind of shade being thrown here, right? At Goldberg. I wonder if they're trying to get Goldberg because we know they have money to burn because they tried to get Jericho and Omega. So, I mean, why not Goldberg? You know, I mean, it's Impact.
Yeah. Oh, it might just be like an idea of just how they used to when it was TNA, just how they were focused on a lot of the older WCW guys, and maybe they're trying to.
I'll tell you why not Goldberg though. I'll tell you why I say not Goldberg because he won't job.
No, definitely not.
He's not going to come back and job to. I mean, he wouldn't fucking job to Kevin Owens.
No,
he's not going to job to Moose.
And where would that leave Moose after all that? He'd still be just trying to find anything else, any other storyline to stick to.
No, it'd be pointless. Don't do it. Then we get a Melissa Santos interview with Johnny Impact. I love that they're very contentious.
Oh, yeah.
I love that she stands up for herself and rolls her eyes at him and stuff. I love it. Melissa Santos is amazing. But yeah, basically Johnny says Cage doesn't understand words because he's dumb and he's a big beefcake. And they're going to walk out with all the gold, apparently.
Yeah, just high school bullies. Kind of like I love the promo that Johnny's promo last week at his estate. And then
about being like the fucking mastermind. Yeah, great stuff.
And now, like again, like it's when he's with Taya, it's just they're the high school bullies. It's just like, oh, don't talk to me.
Back to square one. So then Taya versus Jordan, and Taya wins clean.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Boo! Book your heels to win dirty.
Yeah, no, I thought somehow like she would have won like with some kind of heelish tactics. Just to, they kind of said that Jordan's not really undefeated. How she lost a tag match and stuff. So they're trying to, if they kept doing it, they kind of milk it for what it's worth.
But here's the thing: Impact Wrestling logic.
Yep.
When Taya was a face, or masquerading as a face, if we're going to say that it was all the plan. When Taya was a face, she was winning by heelish tactics and acting like a face. Now she's a heel, full-fledged, and she's winning clean. What the fuck are you doing?
Just
why?
Yeah.
Just why?
It doesn't make sense.
Banging my head against the fucking desk. God damn it. It makes no sense. Impact, why you frustrate me so. And I'm saying this was a good show too, by the way. This is the bar that has been set by Impact Wrestling.
They did it to themselves, to be fair.
It could be worse. We could be watching the Main Event Mafia again.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, you put them in your fucking stables list, which people can listen to next week. You could listen to it now. If you're a Patreon subscriber, go to patreon.com/theb+, and that bonus episode is up. As you listen to this, you can hear our top 5 factions of all time. I want to hear you defend this Main Event Mafia choice.
That was an honorary mention, and the reason I said it, so I don't know if it was covered properly in the recording that you guys did, but just the fact that, again, TNA was always upfront about, or they weren't upfront, but they were always about the WCW guys, the older generation, being in the main event, winning all the titles, and then the fact that they kind of owned up to it and just like, you know what? Yeah, like we're all about that. So that's why they made the Main Event Mafia, just like the embracing that negativity. And like that's what I enjoyed about it. And to be fair, Kurt Angle, like he was the best part of that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan.
That's why it was an honorable mention. Like it wasn't a part of the top 5. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I still went on a rant. You got to listen to the show when it comes out. Yeah, I went on a rant about how wrong you are.
I look forward to hearing
how awful Main Event Mafia were, and how Aces and Eights were better. But they got buried.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Sami Callihan versus Rich Swann.
Mhm.
I want to give this potentially match of the night, I think.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that. I'd argue maybe like the main event, but this was a
Yeah, close
very
call.
close.
Yeah. Too much hardcore stuff on the show, though.
Yeah, there was
Overall.
quite a few. Yeah,
Yeah. But this started the hardcore stuff. And, dude, it was an over-ear rules match, obviously, so it was hardcore. At one point, Rich Swann hit a cutter on the stage, which looked brutal. And then there was a pile driver on the fucking,
apron.
like on the railing, the barricade.
Oh yeah,
Right?
that was ugly.
And then, yeah, and a pile driver on Lego.
Just like, and there was a bit of like dust on the Lego, or was like an extra bit, so it gave it just that little bit of puff of smoke in the air, just to make it seem that more intense. And
This is brutal.
Yeah.
This is brutal. Barbed wire baseball bat comes out. Rich Swann ends up getting it, uses it against Sami, puts him in like the crossface with the barbed wire baseball bat, and
like
Callahan taps out.
a weird reverse Shawn Michaels Ric Flair moment where it's like, I'm sorry, I love you, but Sami Callahan's just like, I love you, please don't do this to me, and just like, nah, just hits him with the bat.
Yeah. It would have been cool if he did that. I'm sorry, I love you. Like, just steal that spot. Just be like, I'm sorry, I love you 3000, and then just go for it, right?
Yeah.
Because he was gonna spoil Endgame.
That would have been very clever.
So if he was gonna spoil Endgame, you drop an I love you 3000 in there for the fans that have seen it. A little bit of fan service. That's what Marvel fans are all about. And I feel like they could have done something cool there, but instead they just had a really good match.
They had it in the palm of their hands, and nah.
Yeah, this is why you got to hire me, Impact. I honestly think I'd do a better job, but whatever. Rich Swann, still the X Division champion.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I was kind of hoping maybe Sami would win, but I can see Rich Swann holding the belt just a little bit longer, just because of how the results came for the rest of the matches, I should say.
Yeah, well, Sami Callihan doesn't need the X Division title. Sami Callihan doesn't need the win here. Sami Callihan is the ace of Impact.
The draw.
For my money, he's the draw. He's the best damn act the company have, and he can very easily slot himself into a main event position at any moment. So
just bide his time, and then I can totally. I think it's fair to say we both want OVE to have all the gold at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, the best act in the company. And then Tessa Blanchard, speaking of best acts in the company, Tessa Blanchard talking about respect and regret. And then Tully Blanchard shows up and he's like, I'm here to watch. And she's like,
hi, Daddy.
Yeah, it's like, is this a face turn for Tessa
I
Blanchard?
hope not. I think it's just like a weird,
felt like a face turn.
No, I think just for this this pay-per-view. I'm hoping anyways. I feel like it's just for this pay-per-view.
Well, Tessa wins her match clean against Gail Kim, who came out of retirement for this match, which in interviews she said it's the only match she's having. She just wanted to come in and put Tessa over. So, I mean, she didn't say that in the end.
It's pretty obvious.
Because that would have been a spoiler. But so she's come out of retirement to give Tessa a good match, because this match was better than any of the women's matches we've seen in Impact in a while.
Yes, very much so.
And Tessa wins by submission. Great match. And then, the hug at the end and Tully there, and it felt like a face turn, bro.
I like Tessa as a heel. Like, maybe I'm just like clinging to straws here, but I love the dynamic. Like, if they're it does leave the door open maybe for Tully to accompany, kind of like a weird Charlotte Ric Flair thing, but for Tessa.
Yeah, but see, if we do this double turn now, we can have Tessa versus Taya, and have Tessa, the babyface, winning the title against Taya.
Oh,
because Tessa was screwed.
Yes, she was. She never lost it. She never lost it properly because of Gail Kim, and
Gail Kim was the heel in this feud.
Yes, she was.
It's like Roman Reigns and fucking Rusev all over again.
Yeah,
like Gail Kim was a prick here.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I think it's a face turn, and I think that Tessa needs to win the title.
She does need to win the title.
Tessa two-time.
Two-timing Tessa.
Let's get it. No, it's Tessa two-time.
I know. Yeah.
Two-timing Tessa. That has a completely different meaning.
That was the point. Joke's better when you
you could call
explain
it-
it.
You could call it two-time Tessa. Yeah.
We're going off a tangent here. Apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Nevertheless, Tessa won the right results.
Yeah, and then we get Cage and Impact with Lance Storm as the referee. Spanish fly off the ramp to the floor. Holy shit!
Kicking off really strong, and apparently that might have been a bad decision on Cage's part after the after the reports afterwards.
Yeah, well, see, you spoiled the result of this match for me because you're an arsehole.
Oh,
And so I went and looked at the news anyway, and I saw that Brian Cage got hurt, and for shoot too. Like
Yeah.
he's actually injured, rushed to hospital. I think it was Meltzer. Someone confirmed that it's a shoot injury. He's not. It's not part of the angle. He actually hurt himself, probably on the Spanish Fly to the floor. And watching it with that knowledge, I saw him grab his back, and I saw what looked to me like a realization of, this is bad, because you saw him grab his face and grab his head like, fuck.
yeah.
I've actually hurt myself and I'm about to win this title. God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, he was not happy. Like, at the end of the match, too, when they're holding up his hand and stuff, you could see he's like,
pissed off. Yeah.
I'm going to have to relinquish this fucking tomorrow night at the tapings because I can feel my back and it's fucked. And I felt for him.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of ruined the rest of the match for me, to be honest with you.
Like, after everything, like, to be fair, we don't know what's going to happen with
we
the
don't.
results, and like maybe he could just have a little bit of a couple weeks break, but yeah, after enduring Johnny Impact for this long, to finally have him dethroned, the right result, as I've been saying for weeks and weeks, this would just kind of undo everything if he has to relinquish it.
Yeah. So Brian Cage actually, literally, as we've been talking, has posted to Twitter, "Not how I wanted or ever imagined this incredible night would end. I've chased this moment and dreamt about this my entire life, and to have this be the outcome, I'd be lying if I said it didn't break my heart." So, and it's a picture of him laying in a hospital bed. So, I don't think it's good.
Shit.
I think he may be injured. I think he may have to relinquish. It doesn't look promising.
Okay.
In the photo, it looks like he's been crying. His eyes are puffy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. After the match, though, we should say after Brian Cage wins, finally, thank you, Brian Cage is champion. Yay. Straight after that, Michael Elgin decides to debut for Impact.
One of the hottest free agents, just Impact grabbed him.
Okay, so, all right. Honestly, I feel like if it was Enzo or Moray, I'd be more excited than this.
Wow,
Like-
okay.
Okay, Michael Elgin is a great wrestler.
Yeah.
Love Michael Elgin. He's done some questionable things according to some, right? I try to judge based on the wrestling. You never know with hearsay. If no one's convicted of anything, it's hard.
Yeah,
It's difficult situations. But I mean, this is a guy who he's a decent wrestler, but I feel like he's kind of a mirror to whoever he's in the ring with. You put him in the ring with Okada, he has an amazing match. You put him in the ring with, what's the bloke, Chase Owens, right? And the match is pretty meh, right?
Yeah.
You put him in the ring with a Will Ospreay, he'll have an amazing match. You put him in the ring with Lance Archer, right? And so I feel like no one's excited to see Michael Elgin show up. And like, we're talking about a world title where the champion, well, the former champion now, but the guy who was your champion on your go home show was made to look like a chump by a retired mid-carder. And then he loses the title to someone who looks like a champion. Great. Yeah, sick. This guy looks awesome. We're going to, fucking A. I could get behind this. And then out comes perpetual mid-carder Michael Elgin, right? The guy who's never even had any interest from WWE. The guy who was, a mid-carder in Ring of Honor. He never cracked the main event in Ring of Honor, never cracked the main event in New Japan.
He won the Ring of Honor World title, to be fair.
Yeah, but I guess he did have a bit of a run in Ring of Honor, didn't he? He did have a bit of a run. You're right. No, I apologize. He had a couple of really good years in like 2000 and I want to say like 2012, 2013.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah. He had a couple of really good years where he was pretty hot. Back when he still had the mullet.
Yes.
So, but now we're in a post-mullet world though, Mr. Mysterious. We're in a post-mullet Michael Elgin world and no one's excited to see him come out and that his debut is in the main event. I feel like it's a sad comment on Impact Wrestling. But again, this was a good show. I enjoyed this.
This wasn't main event. We did have one more after this, and
but it's the world title.
Yeah.
It's the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of Johnny's match and Johnny and Brian's match overall, though, despite the result?
Well, like I said, it was ruined for me because I just kept looking at how he was holding his back, and sort of how he was carrying himself and how he clearly looked disappointed, like he knew something was wrong. It distracted me because I knew the result and I knew that he was injured, and so I was watching it through a different lens. I didn't get to enjoy it because you're an asshole.
I thought we kind of agreed upon this about like notifying about Impact results beforehand, but clearly I was wrong. I know that going forward.
Yeah, no, it was an honest mistake. It was just a matter of, just for people listening, Mr. Mysterious is not an asshole. He's a consummate professional. And he's right. I have in the past said, I don't care about Impact spoilers, but pay-per-views are a different thing.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah, anyway. So it kind of ruined the enjoyment for me. But, I mean, like I said, it was because of the injury, not just the result.
I'm hoping, like, whatever result they do, if he does relinquish the title, if they do... Like, Johnny can immediately get his heat back saying, like, look at this dumb meathead, look at what he's done. He can run with that. Or you can have, I don't know, if they're going to have, like, a tournament or however they spin it, if worse come for worse. But, I don't know.
Just give the belt to Michael Elgin because he looks the most like Brian Cage.
Sure.
Yeah.
It seems like they were going to try and do that anyways. And
I'm the Swolverine now.
The only guy who, like, maybe Killer Cross he's kind of been pissed off, like he's been wanting a title shot off Johnny for the longest time, and now that Johnny's no longer champion, maybe like he'll be out for a little bit of blood from him. Who will see.
Just RVD, just award it to him on his debut.
Just the amount of smack he was talking at the last stop through before Rebellion, just at everyone else saying like,
just the most impact thing you could do. Just give it to Rob Van Dam. No match. Just give it to him. Just have Brian Cage be like, I was such a big Rob Van Dam fan growing up. I want him to defend this title in my stead. Just do that.
Why not? We did have one more match. We don't want to end this on a sour note.
Well, we'll quickly talk about the shenanigans though,
sure.
Right? Because the shenanigans were shit. Johnny Bravo getting involved, making himself the ref after Lance Storm got down. Lance Storm super kicking him. I felt like that took away from the match. It was overbooked. It was nonsense. I just wasn't a huge fan.
Like the fact that he could have, like you said, he can't ref anymore, but he still had the referee outfit just in case. And
just the story's been convoluted. And
I was surprised that if he's going to suddenly be the referee, I was expecting a fast count. And
he still did a regular count. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I did like Johnny's, like, just showing how sniveling he is. Like, he threw the belt to Taya after he hit Brian with the title. Like, that's...
Yeah.
You can have some dynamic there eventually that with those two splitting. Just like, no, Johnny really only cares about himself.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, the main event, the real main event, Lucha Brothers LAX, Full Metal Mayhem. Anything metal is legal. How do you get around the tables then? They're wood.
The metal frames underneath. Just, I think we've had this conversation a couple weeks ago.
I call nonsense. I think that if you want to use a table in a Full Metal Mayhem match, it needs to be a specially made metal table.
Maybe just like a metal frame around it. I don't know.
Look, aluminium's a metal, and it'll bend and break. That's true. You can have an aluminium table, surely.
They could have,
and that'd look pretty brutal putting them through an aluminium table
with the amount of extra stuff they used. That was indeed metal. Yeah.
Like, you know what? Get an aluminium table. You want to go fucking hardcore? Let's go fucking hardcore. Get an aluminium table. Get like a good pair of scissors and you poke from underneath so that all the metal bits are jagged. And do you get what I mean? Like you poke holes in it, and so that the table's all cut up, and then you power bomb them through it, and then they fold in under this aluminium table, and it's got all the spikes, and it just stabs into them.
What could have been, although to be fair, there were like, some great spots in this Full Metal Mayhem match, which
Impact, I'm available. I'll charge you half whatever you're paying the people that are writing the show now. Half.
for starters, and we'll go from there.
It'll be like a 60% pay rise for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. All right, a quarter. Final offer.
We'll talk, guys.
It was a good match. This is a good main event. The finishing spot with the fork to the head and then into the power bomb off the ladder through the table full of thumbtacks.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty great. LAX win. Tag team champions. What is this, like 6 times?
4 time.
4 time. Okay. I'm getting confused. Maybe it's the other LAX that have had it 5
Probably.
times. 5 time. No, so 4 time tag team champions, LAX. And honestly, one of the best tag teams working today. So good on them.
Yep, undisputed. I'm not too sure if this means that the Lucha Brothers are definitely like...
Oh, they're gone.
Okay, because like they, of all the promotions they've kind of said goodbye to, they've held off on Impact the longest. And I didn't know if that kind of meant that, okay, they can help with them sometimes, but...
I think the thing is, All Elite Wrestling seem to be using wrestlers actually as independent contractors.
Yeah.
Right? Joey Janela's still allowed to do his Game Changer wrestling stuff. And the guys are allowed to take dates. They take indie dates even though they're AEW guys. And even it seems like MJF is still going to be able to do MLW even though they have TV. Yeah. So I thought it was just going to be a TV thing, like you can't do TV. But I think like some of their bigger stars are going to get more money to be like, look, you can still take other dates, but not TV and stuff like that. That's how it feels, right? And it definitely still feels like a more fair working environment than WWE.
Yeah, without question.
but it definitely does seem like, in order to work AEW, Lucha Brothers can't work Impact. It feels like that might be the case.
Now,
we are talking from a place of complete ignorance.
Yeah, like, for all we know, afterwards, the whole reconciliation, this, as much as I enjoyed the moment, just like Conan suddenly being an adult after being just like ticked off, and like he's been as bad as LAX and Lucha Brothers, like brawling in backstage, getting worked up over nothing. All of a sudden, like, okay, you guys need to be the bigger men again after weeks of him just that kind of took away from it a little bit for me.
Yeah. Conan is the least consistent motherfucker in wrestling.
I mean, like, I love the moment, but to be like just after weeks of that, like not even just him, kind of like even like the Impact before Rebellion, just kind of like, you know what, I've gotten a little bit carried away. Like even if it's just like a promo before that, just say that, you know what, I need to get my head straight.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but overall good show.
Absolutely.
Even though I feel like I've brought real negative energy, but as I was watching the show, I was like, this is a pretty good Impact show. And now I'm talking about it and I'm like, fuck this, fuck that. Like, hire me, I'll do a better job. And I honestly do believe that. But it was a good show. It sounds weird to say at the end of the day, but it was a good show. Like,
room to grow. We can respect the changes that they've done, the positives that they've had. Like I said, like a big improvement over what they've done in the past few weeks, and great venue for it. Yeah, no, overall I was happy.
Yeah, but Impact is just confusing as hell.
You need a specifically warped mind just to comprehend half the stuff they do.
I think like it helps that I go into everything just looking to enjoy it for what it is. And so I go into Impact knowing, right, that I'm not getting something great. Right? I'm not going into Impact expecting, 7-star matches. I'm not going into Impact expecting consistency. I'm going into Impact expecting to see how the fuck they deal with whatever they have to deal with this week. and sometimes I'm very impressed.
Just to watch the collision, you can't turn away from the car crash. Like, you just want to watch what happens.
Yeah, I think I will one day, but at the moment, I'm still getting off on it.
I think I'm still fresh, like coming back into Impact Wrestling after so many years. Like, I'm slowly immersing myself more in it, so I'm enjoying it for what it is now. But I reckon you're a kind of a look into my future if I keep this up. I don't know.
I told you, buddy. I told you. We all get there eventually. I said to Jay, I can't remember what I said to Jay the other day, but I mentioned something about Impact. He's like, oh God, I haven't watched that in so long. Yeah, the regular Jay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Mr. Mysterious, where can people find you?
You can find me, guys, on all the socials at Mr Mysterious with 1 and 7I, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Hit me up. Let me know what you guys thought of Rebellion.
I am at GregUnchained on Twitter, at the GregUnchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.
Catch you guys.